Eamon Ryan. Eamon Ryan.
Thank you very much, Can Corla. After last night's debate, Can Corla, on waste bill, I went home to our own house looking at what we were doing at home, and in the cupboard where we put waste before it goes into the bin, I'm sure everyone else have the expression, I opened up the cupboard and suddenly an avalanche of stuff comes out to you which we are awash with. We are being drowned in terms of plastics.
Deputy, we're in the Houses of Parliament on national television.
Polypropylene.
Deputy, that's not allowed.
Polyethylene.
Advertisements are not allowed in the House.
Polystyrene.
We'll have to move on.
Can Corla,
there's no point of order on leaders' questions. You're not entitled to have a point of order on leaders' questions. You're entitled to ask a question, but I would ask you to remove that from the desk. There must be some dignity in the House, and normally you're Deputy Matty McHugh.
Could you stop the clock so I have time to ask
normally you act in a dignified fashion. I would ask you to continue in that way.
Can Corla, if I can ask the question.
You can ask a question, and you have 1 minute left.
Can Corla, if I could start the clock, because I haven't had time to ask
it. The clock has started.
We are drowning in plastic. The use has increased by 25-fold in my lifetime. It's growing at 5% per annum. 150 million tonnes of that plastic is now in our seas. We're adding a dump truck every minute, and we have to stop this. We have to cut out the waste. And it's not easy, but it takes attention. And this is vital to this question about how much people have to pay, because rather than having to pay for all that and work out whether it's recycling, most of it, which it isn't, and 40% of that plastic ends up in the dump, we need to actually start to make it easy for the householder to do the right thing. That's why I made the point last Can Corla. Now, I want to ask you, Taoiseach, I've asked every other leader here yesterday, I wrote a letter to each of the party leaders and group leaders, asking would they support our waste reduction bill, which does two things that we know from the best international research, the new plastics economic paper from the Eileen MacArthur Foundation. They recommend simple measures that we can start doing the right thing. That we would introduce a deposit back on containers like this bottle, 10 cents back, so that householders, rather than these going out and being dumped, can actually be saved and recycled and used again. Secondly, that we would put a ban on the plastic cups. These cups are not recyclable. You would think they are with the logo on them, but they're not. But there are instead alternatives, bioplastic bases, which are usable. So the Taoiseach, the question:
No, I don't think you should be acting in that fashion.
Recognising that we've done a lot of good, we've increased our recycling over the last 15-20 years, but now at this point when the question is the household is going to have to pay what's going in, all that stuff going into the black bin, will you, Taoiseach, and your government introduce and support the waste reduction bill that we've put forward, which every environmental NGO of note has said they support, which I heard Deputy Sherlock here last night making a similar point, that we have to review repacking what we're doing and not just change the charging system, but change the way we manage waste. Will you support our bill? Will you cut out or give the 10% back on these and cut out these so that we actually help people to reduce the amount of waste that they create?